But I just started the DVD with that exercise to show you, just to lighten it up a wee bit and to show you what intentional pressure is. But what I'm finding in our travels, many incidents and accidents are caused not by intentional pressure, but unintentional pressure. In other words, putting pressure on people without even knowing that we've put pressure on them. And let me give you examples of this. There are about 6 things you should try to avoid to do that causes unintentional pressure. The first thing is watch out that your time scales are not too tight. Now it sounds so obvious, doesn't it? Many accidents are caused by, right at the contract stage, someone setting a time scale for a job. When the people at the work site get that job, they seem to be constrained by a chunk of time. And people might not question that time scale and hurry up. Things like a vessel sailing or a rig leaving a dockyard, those time constraints cause big problems. So right at the beginning, make sure those time scales are not too tight. A couple of ways to get this right. Consult as much as possible. Consult the people at the coalface. Consult the people doing the job. Make sure you give them the plans early on so they can say, no, that's not 2 weeks, it's going to be 3 weeks. If you don't do that, you're giving them a time scale that might be too tight. Another thing is build into the plan a bit of slack. We need to have just a couple of days, 3 days, 4 days a week. We need some kind of time in there just in case we open things up, and we can give guys a little bit of time to replan, to think about things. Another thing about getting the time scale right is right at the beginning of the job, if you're the supervisor and you know you can't do it in the time scale, you might as well stop the job right there and then, rather than struggle on and try and do it and try and make it up. Go back to the boss, go back to the manager and say, look, in this time, we just can't do it. So right at the start, and many incidents are caused by people starting a job when they know they haven't got the time, they try to do something, they try to be good people, they cut the corner and bang, someone gets hurt. And one last tip about getting the time scale right. Once you've started the job and you realize you're not going to make the deadline that people expect, you might as well stop in the middle of the job and say, look, we're not going to do it. We've opened it up. Here's the problem. This is what we've found.